put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Thursday, the 10th day of July, 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi, and this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning. My name is Akinlabi Holder, and today is an exciting day. I hope you got up and you're ready. You're full of energy to go and tackle the work day today. And tonight, Adana, is the opening night for the Tobago Heritage Festival. Are you excited?
That is true. And yes, I am excited. I saw a sneak peek of what things might look like, and I think all of Tobago should also be excited to be a part of our thing, You know, this time of the year, all of Tobago is represented through the displays from all the different communities that come together to host the Tobago Heritage Festival. So I'm hoping that, tonight will kind of spark, for those of you who are not certain yet, it will kind of spark your interest. And not just for the locals here in Tobago, but for persons who have vacationing on the island, that you will come out and participate in some of the events. But I must tell our viewers this morning, it's strictly by coincidence that Akilabi and I are wearing the same color. I really appreciate our viewers, and I know sometimes they might say, hi, is that a uniform? It is not a uniform today. It's strictly by coincidence. And so we do have, I guess they say great minds think alike. And so Akilabi, I'll give you a nod today. You have a great mind, right? You have a great mind. So you're kind of a peep or what, but but God is good, and we give God thanks for life. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have a lovely show lined up for you this morning. And of course, we're always so happy that you have chosen us. It is because of you why we are #1 for morning show here on the island of Tobago. But before we get into all of those juicy conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Good morning. I am Lavian Cupid, and here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Prominent Tobago-born attorney Martin George has been charged with 2 counts of sexual assault. George, who is also the chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber, was arrested at his Dundonald Street Port of Spain office on Tuesday afternoon during a police operation between the hours of 2:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. Police reports indicate that ACP Suzette Martin spearheaded the months-long investigation into the matter, which allegedly occurred in the month of March. The indictable charges were laid following advice from the Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gaspard. George was granted $150,000 bail and ordered to have no direct or indirect contact with the victim, who is a young attorney. Up next, Minority Leader Kelvin Morris has described the recently declared 48-hour emergency mode at the Scarborough General Hospital as a health crisis. In a post to his Facebook page, Morris called for clarity, strategic leadership, and accountability. He questioned whether the sudden surge of hospital admissions was due to an outbreak or deeper systemic problems within the island's healthcare system. Morris said the TRHA gave no clear plan on how it intends to manage the crisis. He further questioned whether there were contingency plans in place to support an increased demand, especially following the COVID-19 pandemic. The Darrell Spring Whim Assemblyman said the issue can also affect the island's tourism product, adding that tourists may now question whether they would be able to access urgent medical care in the event of a medical emergency. Morris called on the Secretary for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith Brebner, to give the public a clear and honest explanation of the situation at the hospital, along with an emergency response plan detailing how current and future patients will be managed. And finally, the People's National Movement is continuing its fight against the sitting UNC administration regarding the termination of over 300 CPEP contractors. Last week, the opposition filed a claim and an injunction on behalf of one contractor. However, they were forced to withdraw the matter before it could be considered by a judge. They have now filed a similar claim on behalf of another contractor based in the Laventille area. In its filings, PNM's lawyers claimed that the termination were unlawful and said that CPEP were required to pay the contractors 1 month in lieu of notice of termination. The PNM also filed an interim injunction staying the decision and another preventing the company from hiring new contractors while the matter is pending. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Lavian, for our news there in 90 seconds. And I want to talk a little bit about TRHE, staying right here in Tobago. A couple of things. We saw a couple of days ago, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, where we saw that press release coming out in terms of 48 hours to stabilize the Scarborough General Hospital in terms of persons going in there with not so severe cases. And then we saw last evening Dr. Faith Brebner speaking on the issue, like bringing clarity to the issue. One of the things she said that stood out to me was the fact that it seems as if Tobagonians are getting sicker, and I'm trying to understand what does that mean. If you're telling persons, if your case is not severe, if it's not life-threatening, do not come to the Scarborough General Hospital. Rather, try the clinics, the health centers, which are not 24 hours, by the way. And I'm trying to understand exactly the approach to this. I understand the system might be overwhelmed in terms of people going there, but you also tell people, if you have a little headache, go to the hospital, don't take it for granted, don't drink bush, and all of these things. So it's kind of like between a rock and a hard place. And how do I determine if what I am feeling, my symptoms are life-threatening, or if it is just something I could stay home and drink a cup of tea and wait until tomorrow or the next day when the health clinic is open? I don't know where you guys are with that.
Well, I don't. If I'm feeling sick enough that I think I want to see a doctor, I always go to the hospital unless I am almost 100% sure that it could be handled at the health center. So, but I prepare myself to sit and wait. If I know it's not life-threatening, I prepare myself.
But how do you know, Akinlabi, that it's not life-threatening?
Well, based on my own assessment. I'm not 100% sure it's not life-threatening, but based on my own assessment, I might tell myself, well, this might not be life-threatening, this might not be an emergency, but I still would like to have a doctor check it out. I still like to go to the hospital instead of a health center where they may not have all the facilities to assess me. And so I go there, but I prepare myself to sit there for the entire day to wait to get to see my doctor.
And that's the thing. I think this topic is so broad, if I must jump in here. There's an education aspect of it, because when we get to accident and emergency, there's a big board in front of us that tells us the different reasons why we should be here. And if we're being fair as well, we do underutilize the healthcare system, and because of tradition. I mean, I grew up in Roxborough, and I remember having a cold where, when you're small and the cold turn yellow, and my mother would take us bright and early, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we would head to Scarborough up fort. Now, there was the Roxborough Health Center. Not that I'm not saying that we never used it, but we do misuse the both. I don't think there's enough public education as to when we need to go to the health center and also when we need to go to the hospital. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is when we do that now and we go to the hospital, we do overwhelm the system. And so somebody's there for, let's say, a UTI. Why are you here? You need to be in the health center. There's no reason for you to be at the hospital with a UTI, right? It's really a simple medical issue. And so we overwhelm the system. And so someone with a really serious case that needs to be there, there's a backlog, and we, as Akinlabi rightfully say, we sit there for hours. But you know what, as Tobagonians, we now look at that as a rite of passage. That is what you do when you get to the hospital. You have to sit there for hours. We make up our mind. But and we have more clinics per capita than any other island, I think, correct? Yeah.
Yes, I think so,
And
yes.
so we underutilize it. So there's that aspect. And on the aspect that Dr. Faith said, we are getting sicker. Guys, hypertension and diabetes is taking us out. And, you know, recently I was having a conversation with someone. I said, growing up, I would always hear the older ladies around me saying, you know, everybody's talking in the kitchen, and you hear, you know, Eunice gets sugar, or this one gets sugar. And I grew up thinking so little of diabetes until I saw what it did to someone who died in their early 60s. I think she was like about 61, but she was blind by the time she was 50. And I saw how that very wicked disease deteriorated her body. And we take it for granted, you know, Christmas time, we a million of us are up there with the sugar high or the pressure high because we ate what we want and we drank what we want. And so we are getting sicker, and a lot of us are dying, and we are suffering, and we are taking lifestyle diseases like hypertension and diabetes for granted, and it is weighing heavily on our healthcare system, and it is causing the backlog. And not only that, we don't have the money to sustain a lot of it, and then now we are having medication in the system that is below par that other countries aren't using, but we have to use it because we are really sick and we don't have the money to facilitate it. You know, sometimes I wonder, people really know that our oil and gas glory days are done. Do we know that? We don't have the money for that, right?
You know, I want to
it's so wide.
Sorry, Lavian, but I want to piggyback on what you're talking about in terms of hypertension and diabetes. And, you know, during this period or any season, we have seasonal vegetation, for instance, fruits. And I remember as a child growing up, during the July-August vacation period, the only snack I had was a mango, a pomerac, some cherry, some plum. And now we're buying snacks in packs for our kids, shiny packs, and they have MSG, and they have all these sorts of things, and we feed them to our children. So from early onset, we're already starting them off with the same things that we're talking about that overwhelm the healthcare system. And these are the things that we need to pay attention to as well. And that is why I brought that up, because I wanted to pay attention to that aspect of it. What are we doing to cause ourselves to be sicker?
Yes.
We have a personal responsibility to ensure that we take care of ourselves, we take care of our charges, and that we are in a right place. We don't want to, as you rightfully said, sit there whole. I do not want to sit whole day at the hospital to be attended to. If I have a life-threatening condition, why should I sit there from sun up to sundown before I could even go to triage? I don't want to do that. And so we need to take care of ourselves and ensure that we are doing our parts to assist in ensuring that we have a manageable healthcare system. And we always look to the government. We always blame them, and we always say that they everything is insufficient, and we do have this and we don't have that. But what is our role? What is our role? What is our contribution to managing the things that we have access to? I mean, you're talking, Lavian, about not having the right medication or even the funds to get the medication up to par to the illnesses that we're seeing now. But we have a part to play. It's a cycle, and we have to accept responsibility for our actions so that we can all be in a place that is managed in a way that we can, you know, we can feel comfortable there. So,
and the cheaper medication that the government is now forced to purchase for us is making us even sicker. Dialysis is skyrocketing in Trinidad and Tobago.
This cause for concern. This is serious
cause for concern.
And I feel as if there needs to be an aggressive public education campaign throughout the entire island, community by community, village by village. Sit people down and say, hey, this is the reality. The same experience you had, Lavion, with that person who you said passed from diabetes. People need to have that experience. So they would be like, oh, that's what it is.
But Adana, we are having it. I don't think there's a family in Tobago that hasn't had a relative that they witnessed deteriorate from that wicked disease. There isn't anybody.
You see, they think that I'm excluded, so it wouldn't happen to me.
I am excluded, you know, but I really want to implore the TRHA though. Now is the time to do that education drive. Not only on the healthcare system and what is happening and what's happening with our health generally as a people and as Black people as well, but also let people know when they should come to the hospital and what are the alternatives, because there's information about Canaan Health Center. They open until 8 p.m. And again, you know, something like letting persons know, yes, okay, probably if you're having a severe pain in your stomach, yes, you come. You have a severe onset headache. It came from nowhere. We know that could be a stroke. Get to the hospital. But you have a UTI, sis, you could wait till tomorrow. And go to Bacalet, yeah?
All right, Lavian, thank you so much for joining us today. Do have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And you know, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. So today we start off the birthday celebrations by saying happy birthday to Mr. Kelvon Charles. Kelvon Charles is celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today.
And we have a pretty short list today, so finally we say happy birthday to Miss Janelle George, our final celebrant today. Miss Janelle George, God's richest blessings to you on your special day, and we pray that you take some time off to reflect on your life and to give thanks and praise, and you surround yourself with love and blessings and positivity on your special day. Happy birthday to you.
That's right, that's right. And of course, even if we don't have your photographs and you are celebrating, we join in the celebration with you, because of course we must give God thanks for life. And that's my next step. I want you to remember to include God in your celebration, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. So Akinlabi, who are we having conversations with in studio this morning?
This morning we're going to have conversations with former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, and he's going to be talking about lifting the age limit. You know, recently the Prime Minister would have announced that they're going to be lifting the age limit for certain things such as drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, and I believe some other things will be in the mix there. So we're going to have an extended conversation with former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith. And afterwards, in our Woman in Business segment, we're going to sit down with our very own AMPLIA Balgobin, who is the founder of Delightful Patisserie. Yes, Delightful Patisserie. She's going to be talking about her business in our Women in Business segment.
All right. Thank you, Akinlabi, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a lovely show lineup for you this morning. And I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of our viewers far and wide for leaving your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel. For those of you who view us on Flow 102, on AMPLIA, 102, or Flow 121 or 130, we really do appreciate you. We see you, we hear you, and it's because of you why we remain relevant, why we remain number one. So whether you're right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, you are in Canada, England, Asia, Australia, Europe, wherever you are this morning, this is your opportunity to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting with Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Manzolina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and do something.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But I forget to tell all you, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance, our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Chopin Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirror Ball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Chopin Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me ramage. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, hey, hey. Take out your flag and fling it up. Take out something and fling it up. Fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, hey, hey. Start to jump up and fling it up. Take out something and fling it up.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We begin conversations this morning and we have on the line Mr. Gary Griffith, former Commissioner of Police. And as you are aware, the conversation in the atmosphere now, as spoken by the Prime Minister, is about limiting the age limit for certain engagements and indulgences here on the island of Tobago, including alcohol consumption and the likes. And we're going to have that conversation this morning with Mr. Griffith. Mr. Griffith, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Always my pleasure.
All right. Good morning to you. So we're going to get straight into the conversation. So we have a new administration in office and, of course, with their own vision and wanting to implement policies in terms of governance of Trinidad and Tobago. And so here we are at this junction where we hear the Prime Minister talking about increasing the age limit for alcohol consumption and all sorts of stuff, gambling and some other thing I think was mentioned there as well. And a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, and we're going through talking about, is it legal, is it fair, the industries that might be impacted by it, and all of the other elements towards this potential this potential policy that they want to implement. But my question to you is it going to give the kind of impact, or what is the impact do you think the Prime Minister is trying to make with this policy that needs to be implemented, this regulation, to increase the age limit for alcohol consumption?
Sure. Good morning again. The impact really and truly is, it's twofold. She made a commitment prior to the election of certain things that she intends to do, and the country all unanimous, well, not unanimously, the majority agreed to it. So she has to adhere to her promise. Whether it is right or wrong, she made a promise to the country that is what she intends to do. So the 335,000 people who voted knew that this was coming. So they agreed to it. And if the majority of the country agrees to certain policies, well, then it seems that she's left with no other choice but to do what it is she made the promise for. The other aspect has to do with looking after youth development, where it is there could always be a growing concern of certain opportunities and easy accessibility of certain things that can affect the development of young persons. So those can be the two reasons why she's going down this road. My concern is that it must not be going down a rabbit hole, because everything that is done, even though it is you made a promise and even though you want to help youths, it must be data driven. It must not be based on my personal view, my personal perception. And let me clarify from now, I have never gambled in my life. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I cannot drink hard alcohol. So I have no benefit or desire or to front or to support any of those different avenues of people who benefit financially from such venture. My take on this is that everything must be data driven. Has there been data that has been done to show that persons between the age of 18 to 21, they are greatly affected by excess alcohol consumption? And it might very well have been. That research was done by the government to say, listen, we have seen thousands of young persons being affected. They are now alcoholics. It is affecting their lifestyle. And that data can justify law amendment. Likewise with gambling. Is there data that has shown that the present age limit for gambling must go up to 25 because we have data that has shown that many persons have now become affected. Their life has been totally destroyed between the age of 18 or 21 to 25 because they have easy accessibility to gamble. And that is what should be done. Data to justify that you are now taking away certain rights of adults, because that is what these individuals are. Once you're over 18, you're an adult. So we are taking away your rights and your privileges, but we're taking it away because you can't handle it on your own. There must be data to justify that. And that is where there's going to be a concern. I mean, I certainly don't have an issue between 18 to 21 to live for alcohol. That's my personal view, because we pick back and copy from so many things from North America. That is one thing we should probably copy that they have that could be of value to us. But having said that, as it pertains to gambling, to put the age to 25 for gambling is very interesting. I mean, I've done research in over 200 countries in the world. I think it's only Malta and Georgia has an age limit of 25 for gambling. Everywhere else in the world it's 18 or 21. So we would be unique in putting that age limit of 25 for gambling. Then there's the other aspect where they have certain persons. I'm a police officer. I'm 24 years old as a police officer. You have given me the right to arrest people, take away their freedom, shoot persons, but I'm not mature enough to gamble. I am someone who is a businessman. I have hundreds of employees. I take hundreds of thousands of cash every day to the bank, but I'm not mature enough to gamble. I am an army lieutenant. I am in charge of 100 men to be on patrols and can lead them to their deaths, but I am not mature enough to gamble. So that is where this data must come. And a final point on all of this is that as much as I propose see the value for increase of alcohol consumption from 18 to 21 years, but that is only going to be lip service, and it's going to be cosmetic unless we do enforcement, because the present situation is that we have laws that prevent alcohol consumption and sale of minors under 18 years old. But there is nowhere in Trinidad and Tobago that is enforced. You go to every band launching, every carnival fete, every bar, every rum shop, every restaurant, every nightclub, no bouncer, no security stops the person to check their ID. No bar staff or bartender or bar owner stops the person from consuming alcohol, selling alcohol to the minor, selling cigarettes to them, allowing them to gamble. So with all of this that has happened, we have not enforced the present system, and then the parents, they have seemed so. They've breached their responsibility as an adult and as a parent to look after the well-being of their minors. When you go to all of these fetes that you see at Brian Lara Stadium or the recent fete in Tobago, there were more persons under 18 than over 18. And it meant that adults who are parents are allowing their children to do this. So this requires radical culture change from the parents, from police to insist that they start doing law enforcement by arresting bartenders, bar owners, security officers, for allowing it to happen, and also the staff itself, people who allow all of this. So there's a culture change that's required. So if we cannot deal with the present law, where 14 and 15-year-olds consume alcohol, they can purchase cigarettes, they can gamble, what is going to make the difference by changing now from you have to be over 18 to now to be over 21?
Mm-hmm. You know, Mr. Griffith, I had the exact thought when I heard about it. I am for increasing the age limit to 21, but I also feel as if we need to have a cultural shift, because our behavior at this point in time, and as you rightfully mentioned, it does not lend to it anyway, because the age limit is 18. And as you said, I know 15-year-olds who consume alcohol, their parents are aware, they go out, and there is nothing there are the regulations there, but there's no enforcement of it. So it now takes a cultural shift, because the bar owner is going to think, or the man who set up the vendor at the fete, less people will be drinking his alcohol. In fact, why is a 15-year-old? That's a different story. But less people will be patronizing his booth at the event. So they allow things to happen because, at the end of the day, somebody's pockets, and this is just my personal opinion. So I feel as if we need to look at a cultural shift, and we need to be a little bit more responsible in the way that we do things here in Trinidad and Tobago, because there are some laws that some people, they totally disregard. And they think it's okay, it's not gonna affect anybody. There's small thing, nobody checking that. Do you think we need to have a cultural shift and to have some level of more responsibility with this law in particular?
Yeah, definitely. We have all of these cosmetic, useless signs on all of the bars, restaurants, nightclubs, rum shops. Alcohol will not be sold to minors and cigarettes will not be sold. And not one, I can't recall one time I heard a bar owner, a bar staff, a security officer in a club stop someone. You recall this incident that took place with Akon a few years ago, with a 15-year-old being allowed access into the nightclub. That has been the norm from the days of Club Coconuts and Genesis and people. Yeah, I might be a little older than others. Since then, nightclubs, they have never been that responsibility to ask for your ID. And I give a perfect example. My son, he went to Miami for his 21st birthday, and he went to this major nightclub, Live nightclub, which is in Fontainebleau in Miami, a very popular nightclub. And he went there, and he was 20 years old, 11 months, 29 days and 30 minutes. And they looked at his ID card and told him come back in half an hour. That says so much. And there's a reason for that, because the individuals in North America, they are aware that there are consequences. And with that now, if they allow persons who are minors to go into these clubs and purchase alcohol, they can lose their license. We don't have that situation here. I pushed it for the first time ever in the police service. When I brought it, police officers were like, what? Where you coming with this? I said, I want to put undercover officers, go in plain clothes, go along Arapita Avenue, and as soon as you see a minor purchasing alcohol, take the wicket. I did that for about 2 or 3 weeks, and not one police officer came back and said they found someone. And that was a lie. There are more people under 18 in rum shops and bars and Arapita Avenue on a Friday night than persons over 18. That is the norm. The same thing with the nightclubs. So the nightclub owners, the bar staff who serve the alcohol, the security officers, culture change has to take place with all of them. Stop thinking about the almighty dollar. There's a law. The present law is that no one under 18 should be able to consume or purchase such. You are allowing it to happen. You are breaking the law because you want to make a profit. So that's culture shift 1. Culture shift 2 has to do with the parents. All of these parents who have all of these little children going to all of these fetes in Brian Lara Stadium, the Stink and Dirty and the Island Crashers in Tobago and all of that. You're seeing these minors under 18 years old in all of these fetes, and you as a parent are allowing your children to go there. And because they go there now, they have easy access now to acquire alcohol. And likewise, they go to all of these, when you have these all-inclusive carnival bands, no bar person on a truck, carnival Monday or Tuesday, is going to stop and ask someone for their ID. That has never happened before in any of the all-inclusive carnival bands. They look for your wristband, they realize you're part of the band, take whatever you want. That is culture shift number 2. Culture shift number 3 has to do with the police themselves, because when I tried to get police officers to do this, they were skeptical. They were like, what is your problem? This is the norm in Trinidad and Tobago. And I said, we just need to start taking on 1 or 2 and seize their bar license, and then the ripple effect will start. That domino effect will all other persons who have bars, restaurants, nightclubs, they will now do the same thing. We have more all-inclusive carnival fetes than pay fetes. That you buy drinks at the bar. When a lot of minors have access to these all-inclusive fetes, you think any bar staff is going to be looking at to check the age of the person? Once these persons have access to get into these all-inclusive fetes, it now gives them easy accessibility to acquire alcohol because it is all part of the package. So all of this is the massive culture change that I'm speaking about. But if we don't do that, change it from 18 to 21 to 25 to 45 is not going to make a difference, because if we can't handle the situation now with under 18, we are trying to change it now to 21. But this is something that politicians love to do. We love to amend laws because most politicians are attorneys. So let's change laws, but you're changing the laws, but you're not putting the consequences, you're not providing the deterrence, and you're not enforcing the present laws. So what it really and truly is just cosmetic. It's not going to solve the problem if there actually is one.
Mr. Griffith, you stated that you're in favor of moving, you see value in moving the drinking age to 21. Just tell us what about moving the age that you think would be favorable for Trinidad and Tobago.
I am just looking at it from best practice that I have seen in North America. There has to be a reason why it is that persons might be eligible to drive a vehicle in the United States at 16, but at 21 you need to drink alcohol. There has to be a reason why it is that you can vote at a certain age, but you need to drink alcohol at a later age. I would like to believe that at 21 it should be a period by then that you are mature enough to have the responsibility to understand when one drink is one drink too many. Maybe between 18 and 21, you're still living that type of lifestyle where it can cause you to become in a position of not to say that you're immature, but you're still building your lifestyle to move from a young person to an adult. And maybe if it is that we prevent persons having such accessibility to alcohol, it can assist in the development of young persons. But as I said, had I been Prime Minister, I would only have done that based on data. In other words, go to certain places to see how many persons between the age of 18 and 21 have been arrested for DUI, how many persons have alcohol-related problems, how many persons have been arrested because of alcohol consumption that caused them to get in fights or whatever, how many persons have lost their jobs because of alcohol. You have to provide that data. Had I been Prime Minister, I would say this is what has happened. So many people have lost their jobs between 18 and 21 by being intoxicated, DUI, persons who have they have dropped out of school because they are alcoholics. This is a problem trying to be. We have 650 persons between each of. That is what is required. Not just coming on a platform and say we're going to change it, because sometimes you might have a Prime Minister who will say, no, I have a problem. I don't like young people drinking, so I'm going to change it. That is not how you run a country. And I'm not saying that is what is done here. Mm-hmm. This government may very well have done the data and the research that I am speaking about. But every time you try to amend laws to deprive persons of their rights, you must have data to justify it. If there's no data, then people will say, well, where did you just pick up yourself to say, let's move it from 18 to 21 for drinking? Why move? What data you have to show that people have gambling problems below the age of 25 that you must now say it is over 25, bearing in mind that over 200 of the other countries in the world, the limit is 21. What makes us so terrible that we must put gambling at 25 is rather than 21 and 18 as in other countries? So that is my take on it. I would have done the research. Without the research, by and large, I believe there is a good justification based on the factor that said that person are now trying to develop themselves from a young person to an adult. But that justification can be proven if it is that you did the research and you have the data to bring to the public to show this is why we intend to amend the law.
So, Mr. Griffith, I want to talk to you about the implications of implementing such regulations now. We know that under the last administration, they decriminalized the smoking of marijuana to an extent to allow an easing up on the judicial system. But by extending the age limits now, do you think that there will be a negative impact on the judicial system moving forward?
There could very well be. I mean, my personal view is, again, as I said, I never smoked a cigarette in my life, so I was very good with the system. When you open that Pandora's box and you put that product of opportunity to say, well, let's decriminalize it, how far would it reach that someone is going to now be able to probably look to cultivate or to purchase more, or to try to use it as he or she wants to become an entrepreneur? We have now, by decriminalizing that situation with marijuana, it has now intensified the use of it throughout the country, especially with young persons. My personal view is I would not have, I wasn't in favor of it, but I was just the commissioner of police at the time. I think it is, but again, this is something many times politicians make decisions for votes. You know, a lot of young people they love to smoke marijuana. Let's decriminalize it and hope we could get young people to vote for us. That shouldn't be the way you run a country. To say that let us decriminalize it to try to ease up the justice system? Well, then should we decriminalize persons with petty theft, which happens in some parts of the world now, where people can go into stores and if you steal something, if you shoplift, then they don't want to have that person charged because the number of people that do that. Anytime you start going down that road, you start losing. It means that the scales of justice are now being tilted towards helping and favoring those persons who break the law, because we are so burdened by the number of persons who break the law. That's not how you deal with a country trying to secure it. That's my personal view. You need to be vigilant. You need to stick to the process and prevent it from happening. So by lifting the age limit now, it cause even greater concerns of persons doing the wrong thing and now trying to hide from it being done. So again, it is going to cause issues, but I think the problem started by decriminalizing it in the first place.
Okay.
And you see, the thing about it too, what we need to focus on as well, and I think you mentioned it somewhere in the conversation, it's not just the individual who is going to be impacted by this. So now, as an adult, my rights are taken away. I have to wait until I'm 21 to drink or 25 to gamble. But we also have to look at the other industries and how they will respond to this. Because at the end of the day, and you did mention the dollar, whether or not we focus on the dollar, people do focus on that. And so have we considered the impact on the industries who sell alcohol and who the gambling houses, and how are they going to fit into the picture? Has any discussion been had, any consultation? What is the plan? How do there's going to be a loss, or if the laws are followed, if they are adhered to, there's going to be a loss. How is that going to be mitigated? Do you know if any conversation has been had where that is concerned, or what do we need to do in that instance?
Yeah, no, definitely. You hit the nail on the head. I think they really put the cart before the horse there, by putting this without actually speaking to the casino owners, speaking to persons who are involved in supply of alcohol. All of this is what should be done. But again, the Prime Minister made these promises before the election, and 335,000 people, by agreeing to vote for that government, it meant that they said that this is what they want. So she is actually adhering to the wishes of the majority of the country who voted for in the last election. And now she's put in a position that I made this promise, and the promise I made, maybe it was done to win votes, but now she's boxed into a position where she must do it. And again, it is unfortunate. That is the dangers of politics and elections. And really and truly, what should be done is exactly what you said. There should have been a lot of dialogue with the stakeholders, whether it be, I mean, if you want to be as ridiculous as you could, horse racing, for example, are you going to say that persons if horse racing is also some degree technically of gambling? Is it that you're going to say that persons under 20, nobody under 25 could be involved in horse racing? Sometimes people see that as a sport. So, and all of this now is going to have a domino effect. It's going to an effect on employees, because people are going to lose their jobs. But expect that some persons will lose their jobs in the casinos, alcohol consumption now, because less persons have access now to will be purchasing alcohol. We're moving it from 18 to 21. It may very well made the cost of alcohol to increase. So there's a lot of things that you have to look at as it pertains to revenue, employment, stakeholders, all of that. The main thing, however, should be Q1 development, youth development. And if it is that this can affect young persons, that is priority over the almighty dollar. But you need to verify whether it actually has been affecting young persons. How many young people between the age of 18 and 21 have been affected because of alcohol abuse? How many persons under the age of 25 have become addicted to gambling that has destroyed their lives to justify lifting the age limit? There must be data, there must be documentation, there must be research, there must be stakeholder conversations. If you don't do that, then it can be perceived that it is a knee-jerk decision being made without research, and it can be interpreted as well, apart from it being done specifically to adhere to your pre-election promise. It can be perceived that this is my personal view and opinion, that I don't think young people under 25 shouldn't gamble. Persons under 21 should not drink, because that is my personal opinion. You cannot make a personal opinion as a government to change legislation. It must be done based on the wishes of the country, the vast majority of the country, and what is for the good of the country. And the only way that could be done is based on research and conversation.
And Mr. Griffith, you ended the exact way you started, meaning that you are convinced that this approach is the best approach in terms of gathering the data, having the information, and having a foundation on which to make a decision of that nature. And we really do appreciate conversations with you, because, I mean, there's so much insight that we get from it. And we really, really thank you this morning for coming on here and sharing, your thoughts where this is concerned. And we take them, and I hope the government takes them into consideration, and that there must be some kind of follow-up. And how are we going to approach it? Is it actually going to be implemented? What are we going to do? But let us, of course, do the research to ensure the decisions are going to make the maximum impact for what we wanted to do, and not just, as you said, a knee-jerk response to a promise that was made. Thank you so much, Mr. Griffith, for joining us this morning, and we do hope that you have a wonderful day.
You too. My pleasure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting with Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Mandalina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook, and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and do something.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, eh? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get a wall on the side and we get a hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but the cousin Tufina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them, go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and Edward people them, you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me ram my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Before we continue conversations in studio, we head to the photo of the day. The photo of the day was taken right here on the island of Tobago, and I'm being told it's 15 years ago. Of course, you must know where this area is. Can you tell what building is missing from this photograph in today's for today, 2025. 15 years ago the building was not there, but it is there now, and we must thank Mr. Oswin Brown for submitting this photo. Mr. Oswin Brown submitted this photo. Look at this properly, look at it, take your lens and zoom in and think of an area where there is now a building that there was not one 15 years ago. Thank you, Mr. Oswin Brown, for sending in that photo of the day this morning. All right, so we head on to the Women in Business segment, and this morning we're speaking with AMPLIA Balgobin, and we're talking about her business, which is Delightful Patisserie. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana.
Right, a pleasure having you in studio this morning. And we want to talk about, as you are aware, Tobago Update is celebrating women who own and operate businesses right here on the island of Tobago. So tell us a little bit about your business and how you got into business.
I always had a passion for baking. Ever since I was 7, 8, I was always in the kitchen having a passion for baking. I even actually started baking up at Signal Hill Secondary School with a former teacher. And after that, I attended the school and did food and nutrition and went on to even do a degree into the area. And my business started in 2019. Again, for the love of baking, just love pastries, cakes, and even branching out into doing finger foods.
Right. Never tasted any of those, but I'm hoping to get the opportunity. And what has it been like? Starting your business 2019, and I know then we went into a period where the whole world was under a pandemic, and some businesses emerged, some businesses struggled. What was it like for you navigating through that period and even up till now?
So in 2019, everything will always start off slow. You'll start off slow, and then COVID came and hit the very next year. And that's actually when my business started to take off. Everybody's business was going down, and I started to take off because everybody preferred to do stuff online and do deliveries. So instead of coming out of your house and getting it delivered to you. So that period for me was exhilarating and exciting because your phone only ringing, phone only messaging, and you're getting calls every minute to get order out. After that, things kind of slowed back down, but I have a sale every month on cheesecakes, and that's something I maintain. So everybody knows, who knows me and knows my business, knows to look out for a cheesecake sale every month.
Right, and how have you been able to, you mentioned, of course, the peak during COVID. As I mentioned, some businesses went down and some came up. A lot of businesses, in fact, started as a result of COVID. And so you had that surge in interest. And look at those cheesecakes. Why are they putting these things on the screen to distract me this morning? You had a surge then, and then you said things started slowing again, I suppose coming at a regular pace.
Yes.
How have you been able to maintain your clients and, of course, engage new clients and ensure that there's profit in your business?
So during COVID, everybody went to content creation. I was very skeptical about it because I'm not really a media person. So I used to kind of shy away from it. And somebody told me, just take your time and do it one day. And I actually started to go into the content little by little, and eventually things started to take off again. And I maintain a regular schedule. You always had to put yourself out there, whether it be with friends, because other friends have businesses where you could collaborate. I started doing giveaways, partnering with people. So I maintain a steady pace.
And in terms of, do you have like staff? Do you have support when you're baking your cakes or your pastries, doing deliveries? How does the business operate in terms of ensuring that you are able to meet your clients or customers' demands, whether it is by order or it's just by your regular cheesecake sale or any type of sale that you might have going on? How are you able to manage that part of it?
So I do not have staff, but I have a great support system at home. My dad usually goes Trinidad and bring up my supplies. My mom, if I tell her I have to wake up at 4, 3, 2 in the morning, she's up with me, helping me with these cakes. Delivery, I usually do delivery myself. If I can't, my mom step in and help. So my support system is really my home.
And guys, I hope you are seeing these cakes on screen this morning. Very, very delightful looking. The pastries there as well. And one thing about me, I love a really, really nice fluffy pastry. And the croissant is looking really, really nice in that box there. In terms of expanding your business, I know you said at this point in time you don't have staff. and your support system at home is very, very strong. And it's something that we really, really do want to ensure we have a strong support system. We have people in our corner who are helping us, supporting us and encouraging us. Do you have any intentions of expanding the business to a point where you will actually be needing staff, whether it is to assist in the kitchen, to assist with deliveries, to assist with taking orders, inventory? Because at the end of the day, we kind of always want to expand. Do you have any plans in terms of doing those things for your business?
Yes, I actually do have a plan on expanding. I actually want to open a storefront / cafe one day. It's still in the works because you have to work out the kinks and the nitty-gritty of things. As of right now, I am actually in the planning process of collaborating with businesses for Carnival who do all-inclusive, or I could actually have like a booth. I'm actually also planning to do pop-ups. So to go to different locations and just have a table, pop up and have my business out there.
And you know, sometimes in business, right, we have our high points, you have your low points. There are days where you make $10,000 and there are days you don't even make $1. What do you do to encourage yourself to keep going on, to say, listen, Aliyah, this is your vision, this is your dream, and you have to execute it? What do you do to encourage yourself?
As my mom always used to say, every day is fishing day, not every day is catching day. You're always on the water. You have to always be on the water. Because if you're not on the water, you're not going to catch. So you always have to be posting, always have to be updating, always have to be interacting with persons. Because you never know, that day, you're slow and you ain't have no orders or no sale. Could be the very same day that somebody catch it on social media and say, hey, let me order something real quick.
I like that saying. Every day is fishing day, but not every day. Every day might not be catching day. So you have to be on the water just in case it might be catching day. So tell us, how can we find you if we want to place orders for those delectable sweets that we just saw coming across the screen?
So I am on Facebook and Instagram under Delightful Patisserie. And you can contact me via WhatsApp 773-2687.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Aliyah Balgobin, and just in case you don't know, she's one of us, yes, and so we expect that we will have some samples at some point in time. In terms of your customers, repeat customers or new customers, what has been the feedback? Because these things look, I mean, look at how enticing they look, right? What has been the feedback from your customers?
So the feedback from my customers, most of my customers, when it comes to cheesecake, come from Signal Hill Secondary School. And they indulge in these items and give me recommendations on what new to try. So I never used to do Biscoff, but I always used to see it on social media. And if it's one thing about me, when I try a new flavor, I hand out samples, because not everybody will say, let me buy that new one and see, and then they don't like it. I rather fail to try a sample and then say, okay, I like this, I'll purchase it, right? So the feedback and the encouragement to try new flavors and branch out has been good.
You know, I really, really like this for you, and I really do hope that your business continues to bloom and that, of course, you engage more customers as you transform and evolve the business as it continues to grow. So all the best to you in your future endeavors, and thank you so much for joining us this morning and bringing those mouth-watering, views to our screen this morning. And now I am here salivating over all the things that you guys saw across the screen, and there's none in the studio for us to participate in this morning, but that's okay. If you want to reach Aliyah Balgobin, her business is called Delightful Patisserie. You can reach her on Facebook and Instagram, and also WhatsApp her to get more details, to place your orders, and also to go when you taste those delightful, delightful treats. Before we end the morning show, of course, we have to go back to the photo of the day. The photo of the day was sent in by Mr. Oswin Brown. Oswin Brown sent in the photo of the day. Were you able to decipher what building is missing from this photograph? And if you zoom into the photo where there are two blue buildings on the corner there at the bottom of Sangster Hill Junction, yes, those buildings are now gone, and we have what is known as the iconic Port Mall, where we are actually broadcasting from this morning. Our studios are housed there as well. Yes, the Port Mall is now in that space. We must say thank you, Mr. Oswin Brown, for sending in the photo of the day. The photo you are seeing on your screen is from 15 years ago, and perhaps you will have one from today. Perhaps. But for that, you have to stay viewing the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television or any of our programming, while we bring to you all these very interesting conversations and all that we do and say right here. This is where we have to end the morning show, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
To mainly focus on disease of cocoa. Black pod and witch's broom are currently in Trinidad and Tobago, and we're going to give some sensitization about frosty pod, which is a disease that's in the region that could have devastating impacts to the cocoa industry. The reason why these are so problematic, they affect the economic part. It doesn't necessarily kill the tree, but it makes the farmers feel less productive.
Today, the focus is on identifying the diseases of cocoa towards rehabilitation and restoration of the cocoa. So, as you know, we have one of the finest cocoa in Trinidad and Tobago, and we don't want to lose that genetic stock, and therefore this particular training today is for that.
I believe it's important to renew your information and to be up to date with what is taking place. And we learned that the frosty pod disease is just in our neighboring Venezuela, so we have to be on the lookout for that particular disease and to know what to do in the event that it gets here.
So this workshop or training will help facilitate, refreshing the knowledge that officers have and putting things in place so we can get these cocoa seeds back up and running, back up at production, optimal production at that.
Is looking at conserving biodiversity and taking on agroecological practices to now look at the agricultural landscape and see how we could better the landscape using that. So the BioReach is really for the landscape, the productive landscapes of Trinidad and Tobago.
I think it's a good idea that the different agencies come on board with the division and with the ministry by extension. Because the ministry cannot do it all alone, so these agencies will help bring information to us extension officers and our wider farmers in Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
This career day is one of the most important days in the lives of the students because these students are just discovering themselves, and we want to expose them to as much possibilities as possible so that at the end of the day, they will not only be limited to what they knew before, they will see, well, okay, maybe all the time I was stuck thinking that I wanted to do this, but there is something better for me to do. So better exposure, better choices means that you have a greater chance to succeed in life.
We have about 30 different booths. The professions vary from tertiary education to entrepreneurship, to employment after college or after high school, which is WASA. We have THTI, we also have MIC, COSTAT, and we have makeup artists, nail technicians, and barbering going on the inside of the building as well. Our theme this year is Step Out into New Possibilities, and I want my students to understand that it's not just a closed-minded thing where it's just early morning work for them. It's more creating your own employment, finding new ideas to create employment in Tobago. Don't sit and wait for somebody else to employ you.
It's wonderful is for us to get to know more about the careers that are out there that we need. If we want, we could join and become someone in life and to end up on the streets or begging for little dollars and $2. I want to become a policeman to bring law and order to the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a fun thing to let the kids learn about what they have to do in life and thing. My favorite part is the cooking part.
I think it's very inspiring to the upcoming youths.
I have been at a couple of career fairs in the sense of teaching children how to trim. Also, barbering is is something that has been overlooked, I should say, but is one of the most essential part of grooming, because men need to be groomed in order to go out to places, whether it be the workplace or out at parties, etc. And it tends to be overlooked. So I choose to come to the career fair to promote myself and also to teach people how to become a barber.
I believe in career fair because it allows for an opportunity for students to understand what career path that they would like to go into. And
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host Chanel Felix, and whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Prominent Tobago-born attorney Martin George has been charged with 2 counts of sexual assault. George, who also is the chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber, was arrested at his Dundonald Street, Port of Spain office on Tuesday afternoon during a police operation between the hours of 2:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Police reports indicate that ACP Suzette Martin spearheaded the month-long investigation into the matter, which allegedly occurred in the month of March. The indictable charges were laid following advice from the Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gaspard. George was granted $150 bail, $150,000 bail and ordered to have no direct or indirect contact with the victim, who is a young attorney. Additionally, Minority Leader Kelvon Morris has described the recently declared 48-hour emergency mode at the Scarborough General Hospital as a health crisis. In a post on his Facebook page, Morris called for clarity, strategic leadership, and accountability. He questioned whether the sudden surge of hospital admissions was due to an outbreak or deeper systematic problems within the island's healthcare system. Morris said the TRHA gave no clear plan on how it intends to manage the crisis. He further questions whether there were contingency plans in place to support an increased demand, especially following the COVID-19 pandemic. The Darrell Springwim Assemblyman said the issue can also affect Tobago's tourism product, adding that tourists may now question whether they would be able to access urgent medical care in the event of a medical emergency. Morris called on Secretary for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith Brebner, to give the public a clear, honest explanation for the situation at the hospital, along with an emergency response plan detailing how current and future patients will be managed. And finally, the People's National Movement is continuing its fight against the sitting UNC administration regarding the termination of over 300 CPEP contractors. Last week, the opposition filed a claim and an injunction on the behalf of one contractor. However, they were forced to withdraw the matter before it could be considered by the judge. They have now filed a similar claim on behalf of another contractor based in the Laventille area. In its filing, the PNM's lawyers claimed that the terminations were unlawful and said CPEP were required to pay the contractors 1 month in lieu of notice of termination. The PNM also filed an interim injunction staying the decision and another preventing the company from hiring new contractors while the matter is currently pending. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning we jump straight ahead into our discussions. And we are chatting virtually this morning with Mr. Rodney Budram, who is the UTC Services Advisor. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning. And
good morning
to you.
So, Mr. Budram this morning is from the Unit Trust Corporation, and we are talking about, SCA children investment starter accounts. For many persons, the way that they started having their very first bank account or even credit union accounts happened when they did exams, and there were those specials available for students to have those accounts set up, or maybe they would have come to your school and done a drive for your parents to sign up for you. We are seeing something very similar happening here with UTC, so tell us a bit about that.
So the SCA program runs from the 1st of July to the 5th of September. It allows every parent or guardian that had a child that wrote the SCA to come in and open an account for the child. And you're saving towards university, you're saving towards, be the lessons for the child or whatever education needs the child have. That's the purpose of the account. So it's called the CISP, or the Children's Investment Starter Plan. So the parent comes in, you open the account, and when they deposit their $100, the Unit Trust Corporation will match that $100 with $200. And so the account basically starts with $300, one from the parent and two from the corporation. It's a gift to us, to the child, for writing the essay and continuing their studies.
Right. And so tell me what is required for persons to come and, register for these accounts, and what are the benefits of having these particular types of accounts? Because we know that a UTC account is totally different from a traditional bank account. So tell us.
So the child cannot open the account because they're under 18, and 18 and over is what opens the account. Remember, the Unit Trust Corporation has investment accounts, so you need the parent or the guardian to open the account. The child will then become the beneficiary on that account. So that's how it's the Children's Investment Starter Plan. And then the parent pays into the account, whether you want to put a lump sum into the account or you want to put a monthly payment in the account. Whatever works for the parent or the guardian is what you can do. The account itself is a long-term type mutual fund account. It's tied to our growth and income account. So whatever funds collected under the CISP is invested in our growth and income portfolio. It provides growth in terms of the unit price changing, and also you look at the distribution of the interest that is paid into the account. So you gain two ways on the account.
Right. And so, persons often hear about, investments and passive income and how these things can accrue interest over time. Tell us about, what would that look like for a student that is doing SCA, who just completed SCA, who in the future would be going into, let's say, university? How can parents utilize this account to possibly plan a way forward for sending their kids off to university?
So I like that you said that question, and it goes very well with what I had planned to say. Is at university you have to create a goal. If the goal as a parent is to send your child to university, first thing you must do, so you have the goal, you need to quantify the goal now. So let's say it's university, UWI, St. Augustine, you're looking at around 3,000 TT per module by 30 modules, so that is 90,000 you're looking at, plus let's say room for the child to stay, books, so let's say it's another 90. Rounds that up to 200, you're looking at saving funds for the child over a 7-year period. So you divide that and it gives you an idea as to what you can put away towards that goal. Again, let's say it's around $1,000 a month, but you could only put away 5. Again, save what you can. The point is you have the goal, you have the dollar value in mind, and that way you're planning towards that goal for the child.
Right. And, tell us about other UTC accounts that the parents themselves can, sign up for and get into, even, as they are doing this for their children. What can the parents themselves benefit from in terms of packages that you now have available?
So we have, as I said before, the growth and income accounts as a parent. So while you're opening a children investment starter plan for your child, you could also open a growth and income account for yourself. It's a nice long-term plan. I myself have one that is, the funds are there for towards my retirement. I'm saving towards that. There's also retirement accounts that you can be in. Our universal retirement fund is one that I like the best, that you can invest in. There's also the one that is more popular, which is our income fund, our TT income fund. We have US and TT, but the TT pays around 3.15% currently, and our US income fund pays around 3.51%. Two very good funds. The unit price doesn't change. It's a fixed unit price of $20. So that way you have safety of capital. So those are the two accounts I know a lot of people do, especially the emergency funding that parents normally put away. It's placed in the TT income fund that it grows a little over time until you're ready to use it.
Right, excellent. And what does the payout look like on a yearly basis in terms of dividends from UTC currently?
So while we don't project in terms of, because there's no telling what the future could be when you're investing, I could give you what happened before. Last year we started our TT income fund at around 1.2%, and we are currently at 3.15%. So that rate changed month on month. Every other month it changed, and this is where we are today, a year and a half after. So while I could tell you, yes, given the current interest rate, this is what your return would be, it can also change as it goes along because the rates can go up also.
Brian, you said that's 3.5% currently?
On the US and 3.15 on the TT.
Excellent. Well, I mean, is there anything that you want to tell persons as it pertains to this SCA drive and why it's so important for parents and teachers as well to get involved and get informed as to what is happening at the Unit Trust Corporation currently for SCA students?
Well, I think it's nice that they can, we believe in financial education and teaching kids about saving and investing. So any of the teachers can reach out to one of the Unit Trust branches, and they can come in and do a presentation for the teachers. If you have the kids that are willing to listen, we are willing to do a presentation. I'm again teaching them about saving and investing and the important things. The other part that I'd like to leave, it's not hard to open an account with the Unit Trust Corporation. Just 2 forms of ID. You just have to have proof of address and proof of income. Once you have those 3 documents, you can come in to open the account. In case of the SCA, you need to provide a copy of the SCA results or, whatever proof that the child wrote the SCA in 2025 in order to take that plan. So that's the only additional document you have to provide for this time. But going forward, any one of our accounts is just 2 forms of ID, a proof of address and a proof of income.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for that information, and we want to remind parents that the UTC, is now making these investment starter plan accounts for students available and free to open, right? How much is required to start the account?
Just $100 for any one of our accounts you need to open, and it's just the CISP is where we add a little in as a reward for your child for the SCA. But even if you come after the SCA, so while we're giving $200 to every SCA child, when you put 100, we put 100. So no matter that your child wrote SCA 5 years ago, you could still come in and open an account, and we will match your 100 with 100, and you could start. You don't have to wait for SCA. Your child starts at standard 1 or first year, second year. You can come in and open an account, so you have more time to save for your child's education.
Excellent. We want to thank you so much, and we want to thank the whole team over there at UTC, for this type of initiative and keeping the students and the parents in mind. But we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. I beat the road, all day we beat the road, all day I beat the road, all day we beat the road. When spirited man, I beat the road, spirited man, I beat the road. When spirited man, I beat the road. What to do? Let me see how stick you could get, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could, see how stick you could, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could get, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could, see how stick you could, see how stick you could get. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I overeat it. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I over.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe Land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting With Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the Heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Manzolina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Tina Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. my Tobago Heritage Experience with Tobago Update. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and do something.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Chopin Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios, and Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Chopin Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now this morning we continue our discussion, but we're talking about all that's happening over the weekend. So if you're looking for something to do, something to engage in, or some fun to have, there is that Speyside Fisherman Festival that's happening. And, for some of you probably haven't been to Speyside Fisherman in a while, so this is your time to re-engage. This morning, I have on set with me the chairman of the Speyside Fisherman Association, Mr. Joel Cook. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, miss. How are you this morning?
I am okay, I'm okay. And, so you guys have been planning, putting everything into play, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together to ensure that this year you have a successful Speyside Fisherman Fete. Tell us, what has been happening over the last couple of years and what you guys have done differently this time around to enhance the festival.
Oh, well, for one, I have become the guy at the top, as most people will say, the CEO.
Right.
And we have change up few stuff as we used to do in the past. As before, Fisherman used to be like 3 days of it, start on the Friday to the finish on the Sunday. And we have taken it down a bit to at least to 2 days now, where Speyside have been, been great. People have been looking forward to it for all this time. For quite a time, we always have different stuff, like we now implemented. We have sports from about 11 o'clock. 11-12 when church is finished till about 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
And this is happening on Saturday?
On Saturday.
Okay.
So you can bring out the kids. So it's cricket, football, street. First time we're going to be having a single wicket in Speyside for the Fisherman Fed. Some people know when they ask what's that. It's like just me and you decide to play against each other. I bowl you, see how much runs you're going to make, and then I got to go in and make much runs that you make.
Right. So this is a part of, engaging the community as well as engaging the youth and giving them something to do. Why is it critical at this point in time to get the youths within the Speyside community engaged in positive activities?
Well, that's a good question. I like how you asked. Lots of time when the kids haven't getting much to do, they're wondering, well, what to do. So when you're wondering what to do, you might intend to do other stuff. So we also
things.
Yes.
Parents always says that the devil finds
the devil finds books islands to do. That's true.
Exactly.
But we have been doing lots of stuff, and I'm glad you mentioned that. For now, as from school is closed, school gonna be closing on Friday. You have a little Speyside activity. You're gonna enjoy yourself. There's also cricket will be taking place in Speyside. There are some teams traveling under 16 Tobago tour. Yeah. So the Saturday you're looking for lots of sports and lots of fun on Saturday. Then you're going to move into the Sunday. We're going to get swimming race, boat race, and lots of other entertainments, live entertainments too. We're hoping everything goes to plan.
Right. And, what is important for persons to note, specifically when it comes to persons who are coming from the western end of the island, coming up to Speyside for the weekend, to enjoy that Fisherman weekend? What is important for them to note as it pertains to accommodations, parking, all of this stuff? What are some of the key things that persons should know when coming up to enjoy the festivities?
Speyside have been actually known for accommodation and parking. For real. When you come into the venue, you don't stop exactly by the venue. You drive a bit in to the more into the Vale, and there's a big playing field there where you can park. Probably your vehicle is going to be safe. Police will be taking good care of it. It's a safe parking. Accommodation, there's lots of accommodation in Speyside. For now, some are already booked out. Right. So still you can get like the hotels is there, like Blue Waters in, Manta Lodge, Speyside in. So there are hotels and there are few guest houses in Speyside, but most of the guest houses are almost booked out already.
Right. And how does this, Fisherman Festival help to, stir up the economic activity in the area and ensure that everybody gets to benefit a little piece of the pie?
Well, that's good. Well, as I say, we normally try to party together with the Blue Waters in and the guest houses. So we're going to come to them and we talk to them and say, this time is coming up, so we want to at least be a part of this and you to be a part of it. So they give us a little sponsor and we help us to bring more people into the community on that weekend so them can get the chance opportunity to raise their fund. Sometime, show off the cuisine of Speyside.
Right,
the glass bottom boats already is there too.
Right, exactly.
Where you can get glass bottom too.
So now I need to come to Speyside this weekend and probably spend some time at the Blue Waters in Manta Lodge and, just relax a bit.
Yes, you could. You have a nice fun day. You go back to the hotel, you relax and get ready for the next activity to come.
Go again.
So it's like 2 days, but 3 different events in 2 days.
Right. And so that is, tell us about it. So it starts off on Saturday morning. Give us the rundown.
Start off on Saturday at 12, where it's going to be sports only. All right. Lots of sports. All right. Then we come up to from 11 o'clock in the night till 10 o'clock Sunday morning.
Right.
It's going to be Block O.
So a Juve, that's Saturday into Sunday.
Saturday into Sunday where you get a nice
type
block
of Juve party.
Yeah, but moving around good. Then it's going to lock off for church. Then it's going to be the blessing of the boat. That's one of the traditions we do every year.
Okay.
With the Anglican normally come about. The guys pull up their boat, clean it down. The priest come and bless the boat. And then we move from there from about 5 o'clock in the afternoon till about 1 o'clock Monday morning.
Excellent. And, how are you encouraging or getting members of the community to participate, particularly when it comes to the sporting activity? Because, sometimes you put out a lot of effort into getting these things done and you have this, huge agenda of, after this, we're going to do this and then you find a situation where Saturday morning you come out, you set up everything and people in coming out until later in the evening to party. But you really want people to come out and engage and play sports and, have that level of community, camaraderie, and have the youths involved. What are you doing to ensure that, hey, yes, we have the party going on Saturday night into Sunday, but this is an integral part of what we're doing? How do you ensure that people come out and support that part?
What we normally do is, some of the parents might vex, but we go to the schools. And we go to the schools and look at youth groups around the Shalavu Police Youth Club, and go to Roxborough and most of the secondary school. Because I normally do work with sports TT, so I'm with the kids and them a lot. So I'll be telling them, so tell them moms, hey, you gotta wash early on Saturday, we gotta go to Speyside, so you get lots of things. That's one of the things we do. But we have been advertising a lot, and we have been doing lots of community stuff, so it has been easy for us to getting the people to come out and getting the support from the community.
Right, and even as it pertains to, that economic activity in that area, so that, different businesses get to benefit. When it comes to like vending and stuff, is that closed off, or can persons still come to the association and get approvals to, sell food, sell popcorn and stuff at the side of the road? Can they still come and get those approvals?
We do that for the last 2 years. We did that. Right? Because we wasn't getting the much manpower to think.
So
but this
the
year,
association itself did the bar and...
The association we do the bar.
Right.
And we normally rent the tents rent out a couple tents for the vending. But we're going to be doing that this year. Right? We're going to be taking those stuff into our hands. But we're going to do the vending. We are control for all of the popcorn, the chicken, wherever eats you want to get. We going to take care of it.
So you guys will have that full-fledged
covered. Yeah.
That whole area there where you have the food courts.
Yeah, we're going to do that this year. The group have been, I must say thanks to each and every one of the members and them. They have been coming out to meetings, and they have been reaching hands on deck to get everything for the Speyside Fisherman. Speyside Fisherman has been a lot, and it's something that we like.
Right. But I feel like it's also not an easy task to manage it. Because, culturally, it has been a particular way for a long time.
Yes.
And persons have a way of saying, even when you try to improve something, well, this is the way how we've always done it.
True.
How are you, maneuvering through that to, keep the culture and the spirit of it alive, but still introducing a fresh perspective as being a young person yourself?
Well, growing up, used to be the seniors always used to be there, and they used to do it their way. But they have realized now that, hey, time is improving. Certain things is going forward. So they are still there, but they are giving us the opportunity to bring our culture and our, as I say, young people vibes into it. But they are still there in the group, but they are at the top, and we just giving you to do the work and them thing, then making sure that at least the blessing of the boat, that's their culture. So they always tell, hey, don't get rid of this at all. People look forward for that. But other than that, they have been giving us the hand and giving us the opportunity to do young people stuff, as people say.
Right. But even with that, the Anglican Church has played a critical role in the festival, over the years. Why is it so important to have that, to strike that balance? Because you say, you have the sporting activities, you have that Juve party, but you have still left a space to prioritize that spiritual component of the Fisherman Fete. Why is that partnership with the Anglican Church, culturally significant to the Speyside Fisherman Fete?
Well, I have reached there for so long because first thing, most of the members that used to be a part of Speyside Fisherman, they were Anglican.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have keep that tradition, and I intend to go with it for them. And as I say, in anything before we start a meeting, finish a meeting, join a meeting, we always put God first. So we keep that tradition, and the people are not looking forward, hey, every year for sure, on this date, my boat is going to be blessed. So probably I might catch more fish the next day.
All right. Okay, and this is the district of the sitting Chief Secretary. This is actually his home village, Speyside. Have you reached out to him to get support for the festival? Is he one of the sponsors?
Well,
what is his support like?
I've reached out to him. I can't give him any bad name at all. He have been assisting us in whatever way that he see fit and he wants. Because I remember before he become Chief Sec, we all come together as one and we keep a Speyside Fisherman already. And he was part of it, which was nice. That's his stuff, he like it. He normally support the groups in Speyside a lot. I've reached out to him. He normally give us a handout, which is very good. It's a blessing for us because it's a non-profitable organization, company Speyside Fisherman Fair.
Yeah.
You understand? Most people that make is the guy who owned the bar.
Right. Right. And, it's also that period where persons who are from Speyside, who have moved out of Speyside, tend to come back home. So you look forward to seeing the Chief Secretary there that weekend with the family and, possibly sparking something on the grill.
Well, he might turning a fruit thing, because, he likes to cook salad. He cook really good. So he might be turning like a grill, for the camera, so people can see.
For the camera.
But it's good. I've bring back lots of people that I have never known that they were from Speyside.
Right.
I've never known. I have seen them, and every year I've seen them for Speyside Fisherman Fair.
I didn't know that they were family, based on how, Tobago is structured. Everybody is family.
Everybody's related, yeah. That's
right.
So probably me and you's family.
Possibly. You never know. But, it's so much happening as it pertains to community development and working with all sectors of the society. You have women, young boys, and, different groups that are within that Speyside area that get to come out and benefit from this activity. So tell us again about what is happening on Sunday evening.
Right. On Sunday, we're going to have lots of things happening on Sunday. But we more than put, because some people after the whole morning party, church got to take place for a while. So, the members get a chance to go home, and probably get a little sleep to come back to support. You can get, I said, boat race. You have swimming race. You have the youngest child, first to catch a fish. You have all those stuff been taking place from about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Right, so, and then from 6 o'clock till 1 is where you're going to have little other things taking place, which is like beer drinking.
Okay.
Then you're going to have, hula hoop. We're going to keep hula hoop for the longest. Right. And little small stuff taking place in and out that we have been asking for sponsors for.
Right.
And people coming out.
All right, we'll chat a lot more on, sponsorship and growing the festival, but we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starter.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me drum. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Chopin Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Tatiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and and Tobago correspondent, Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios, and Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
When I want a proper window for my house, I
I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but my children, cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Sprinkler down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. We continue this morning, and we are still chatting about all that's happening this weekend up on the east. Now we're talking all things Speyside Fisherman Festival this weekend, and we have now joining us on set Miss Radhika Connell. Good morning and welcome. And she is the PRO of the Speyside Fisherman Association. Now I spoke to your colleague extensively this morning about the actual festival and everything that's happening and its impact on the community and its impact on the youth. And you know, just that overall festival that doesn't just include partying but includes some level of sport element that gets young person active and involved, because we want them to come out of the house, get away from the smartphones, the devices a bit, and actually come back outside and socialize like we used to do in our time, right? Which sounds kind of crazy because our time was probably just yesterday.
That is true.
But you know, this generation is a totally different one. And you know, this is what we call the Gen Zs. They were born with the smartphone and the devices, and now it has become a part of their existence. And so, you know, a lot is being done to bring them outside, and this festival is no different. But even with the efforts being made by the Speyside Fisherman Association, it's more than just the Fisherman Fed. You know, there are a number of things that you are doing outside of that to engage the community and engage the youth within the community. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay. So this organization has been doing a lot. We usually have a Christmas fair for children every year where we bring them out. We have activities, bring the parents out as well. Another way of socializing with other kids, right, and coming off the devices, right? We also engage in what we will know as the hamper drive every Christmas. Well, we will look for unfortunate families within the community as well too, and we will donate a hamper either during the Christmas season or at least during the New Year season as well. So they start the new year with some groceries. And so, you know, it is important not just to come out and socialize, but also to give back. And having youths involved in even self-collecting one item from your house, when you during the Christmas grocery, you ask your parents to get at least a tin of sausage to contribute towards those stuff, as well has had an impact on giving back into community. So it's just not just socializing alone, but also understanding the importance of helping others within your community. And another thing that we had was the cleanup, the village cleanup with the beach, where we would cut the grape trees, clean up, make, you know, because Speyside has a beautiful view. beautiful scenic sea, and it is important that we beautify the community as well too. So we have been, slowly but surely involving youths in different community activities. So at least they can know what it is to keep Speyside beautiful at the same time, but bringing each other together.
Right, and I was talking to your colleague about, just fostering economic activity within the area. How are you engaging those local businesses around that time to get involved and to benefit from that traffic that comes around that Fisherman?
Yes. So, as you know, because it's 2 days, right, a lot of persons will be coming into the village. So we have the different hotels as well as we have bars and little mini marts around the area. So even if you may be partaking in our bar and our food court, you also have the opportunity to engage with the others. And we have opened it up so that everybody can eat our food in a nutshell. And they are the ones already knowing about the activities. I saw where the hotel Mantle Lodge as well advertised the Speyside Fisherman festival, so we're encouraging persons to come up, and not just Speyside Fisherman, because July, is busy on our end. So we have the Charlottesville Heritage coming up as well. So I saw they advertising that, and that was another way of bringing persons within the community and at least engaging persons to, give back. And again, it will help with the business community getting money at the end of the day.
Excellent. And, how are you planning to grow and evolve this festival over time? Because, as I was saying to your colleague, this Speyside Fisherman didn't start yesterday.
That's true.
It's now become a cultural part of the community. But although you want to maintain key aspects of the culture, you still want the festival to develop and grow into something sustainable that you can continue to have for hundreds of years to come. When I talk about growing the festival and sustainability, I'm also talking about that component of recording key aspects for the future generation to look back and see what the history of Speyside Fisherman Festival has been. So what type of efforts do you think can go into, creating a library? For the Fisherman Festival.
Yeah. And funny enough, you will say that, because while I was on my way down, right, I was thinking about how we can at least start documenting the history of Speyside Fisherman. Because even though I'm involved in it, I really don't know what year it started, right? And that's something I really want to go look at, do the research to find out what year. I know I have an idea of why it started and where it started from, but what year, I really don't know. Who were the persons more or less starting that? Yeah, I know the persons who continue it and then they hand it out to this new, group. But really and truly, there are some history that I'm going to look forward to getting, because I realize that it's very much important. When COVID happened, everything shut down and they started up back by calling it the rebirths. Right, so Speyside Fisherman, the rebirth, and that means something. It means that they are more or less starting up back this event, but more so to continue in it. And I've been an advocate for pushing not just beyond the festival, but having other activities that will engage, right, the community as well as the white space Tobago and maybe Trinidad as well. And I see that there's a need for non-profit organizations to raise their own funds, right? Because, when we have these events, we always have to be begging. We always have to be trying to do our own fundraiser, and it can be challenging at times. And I'm so much an advocate for that. So we have been trying to come up with other activities. We have a flashback fiesta, all 90s events coming up soon, as well to another fundraising event to kind of raise funds, but at the same time make the organization realize how they can be sustainable going forward. Because funding is one thing, but also creating the structure to go forward is another thing. Yeah. So it's a work in progress.
Yes, and have those. Well, as you indicated, there are other activities that you do around Christmas time. You have those hamper drives. Kids are going back out to school.
They had at one point in time back to school drive as well too. They had that as well too, right?
Excellent.
So it's a work in progress, but we are getting there.
But we are happy to hear that, you know, the Speyside Fisherman Association is more than just a fisherman fete, but it's an entire organization being used to help foster community growth and development. You know, but before we leave, I'll allow your colleague to remind us again, you know, of everything that's happening this weekend. For the persons just joining us, we are chatting with Mr. Joel Kirk, who is the chairman of the Speyside Fisherman Association, as well as Radhika Connell, who is the PRO. And so they are some of the key representatives sitting in with us this morning to remind you that it's Roction in the East this weekend, right? So remind us when everything's starting and what is happening on from Saturday.
Well, you're going to get Speyside going to start from, actually going to say Friday at the Speyside Beach Bar. You know, you get the launch on Friday, but Saturday is going to be Saturday from 12 till Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. It will be Speyside. They're going to be up and ready, going on. All right, don't forget, bring out the friends, family. Tell a friend to bring a friend. Speyside is going to be the place to be this weekend.
Excellent. Well, guys, you've seen it here and you heard it here. The place to be this weekend is Speyside for Speyside Fisherman Fete. And in case you still need somewhere to stay, there is the Mantle Lodge Hotel, as well as the Blue Waters Inn. There's the Speyside Inn as well, and a number of other, you know, small guest houses there if that's your type of vibe. Or maybe you have someone's couch that you can sleep on. You never know, right? You know, they say all away is one family. So, guys, we look forward to you having an excellent weekend and patronizing all of the events happening up in the East. At Speyside, we know that, you know, they say country people, let's come out and support. So we know persons will be coming from all villages, but we are going to be coming heavy from the West to have a good time up in Speyside this weekend. And guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.